Okay, the time is now about 4:50 in the morning on October 9th. Basically, for those of you don't know, I believe that I'm the victim of one of many victims of human experimentation. This has been going on for, um, as far as I'm aware, about 3 years, but more specifically, as far as where it's been blatantly obvious to me, for about a year. I've basically been hearing anywhere from between 3 to 5 people, sometimes six. It depends on what's going on, but a group of people. It's the same people who work in shifts, with there being 2 to 3 predominant characters, if you will, or people. Because these are not characters, 2 to 3 predominant people, the leaders, alternating more so in their shifts, um, for basically almost virtually 24/7 harassment. Medication has not helped or worked. Um, this is not me because I know my mind. I know what I think, and I know all of that stuff. I know myself pretty well, which is a blessing, and I'm grateful for that. Basically making commentaries to whatever's going on, throwing out derogatory statements. Um, about whatever I'm doing or whatever I've done, things like that. Commentaries to whatever's going on for the day. This person did that. This person felt this way. You should have never did this. No, she didn't. Did you see what she just did? And then also trying to make me feel like there's a mass group of people who are in on this. If you knew how many people knew about this, all these people, things like that. But it's not like it's the same comments being thrown at me literally. They have a couple of catchphrases, if you will, or a couple of phrases that they repetitive statements, I guess you can say, as far as what they throw out again and again, like that they use regularly, mixed up in everything else that they do or say. I now realize that, or believe that, it's for the purpose of training my mind or my thoughts, for being able to understand them on a different level, subliminally even. When they started, they were very loud. They were very, very loud, and I was able to hear them quite clearly. I mean, they sounded like they were coming from another room or from behind me, or what have you. As time went on, a couple of months went on, they've now been reduced to sounding like they're virtually, and they fluctuated to sound like they were going away, where they were almost very muted, almost, but I still heard them. There was still something going on, like in my ear, where even when they spoke, I felt vibration. That's how I would feel, like a vibration on certain words or whatever it is in my ear. To now, I hear them, I'm aware of them, but I don't believe that I'm literally hearing them with my ear. I think that it's more internalized, it's deeper than that. Um, they're trying to basically train me, I guess you can say, to hear them without hearing them, to be aware of them without actually hearing them. That's where we're at now. And it's frightening. I'm not going to lie, it's scary, but I'm trying to stay strong. I've spoken to some other people who believe to be TIs, and they've explained to me that this is the case, that they basically fluctuate, and they're going to try to basically get as deep into, I guess, my thought processes as possible. I was told by one that it's for the purpose of harder detection, for this, because I'm sure that there has to be a way to detect it with the right equipment or right tools to detect it. But the more, I guess, specific to you, the more specific to you as far as what they're transmitting to you that they can get, the harder it is to detect it, because it's going to basically maybe mimic your own brain, your own brain waves, your own, you know, thought pattern, if you will, electrical patterns or rhythms, whatever it is that they're working off of specifically. Again, for those of you who don't know, this is EMF or radio or implant, or maybe a combination of both. I was unconscious in the hospital for about 3 days. After I woke up, I never heard voices, never heard any of these things prior to it, never had any of these problems prior to this. Unconscious for 3 days in the hospital, woke up about 3 or 4 days after waking up. I was still in the hospital basically, and I started to experience hearing some of these people, but I didn't know that they were in my head. I thought that it was the staff members, um, at the hospital. This occurred specifically for the overnight shifts. It was never during the day. The overnight, the evening to the overnight shifts, with the same grouping of people. And more specifically, one to two of the people that I'm hearing now, I saw them at the hospital. These were people, were men who looked kind of military like in their stature. I could be wrong, but one in particular was a male nurse who was very gruff, very built, clean shaven, bald head, that whole look. And he was a male nurse. And that was fine because I know there are male nurses all over the world who look however they look. Um, but I know I'm hearing him. He's one of the people who's behind this. He was one of the people that his shift was an overnight shift. Um, it was predominantly an overnight shift. And again, when the doctors were there for the day, I experienced nothing. I didn't hear staff members talking about me. I didn't hear anyone trying to wait for me to go to sleep. I didn't hear anybody repeating back commentaries to what I thought or even repeating back portions of my simpler thoughts. 2 years, almost 3 years later, these people now have gone from, I guess, being able to read my simple thoughts when this all started to now being able to understand and know my most intricate of thoughts and being able to comment on it. I'm looking for help. I'm looking for assistance. This is my plea. Um, Again, if you watch this, don't just look at it and say, okay, let me just go, interesting video, and pass on. If you know something, um, let me know, drop a line, let me know, how I can maybe detect them, how I can go about finding them, what resources I can take, what avenues I can take to maybe even get something going or started. These people basically are getting deeper and deeper. They're telling me things like eventually I won't even, and I don't know, I guess they're trying to basically tell me eventually I won't even hear them. They've gone from me being able to literally hear them to my mind being able to hear them. Not really me, is what I believe. And they're getting deeper. They're getting deeper. And this can happen to virtually anyone. And if you're not concerned because it's someone else, you should be concerned if it's even only for yourself, because this can happen to anyone. Yeah, I was in a hospital, and you could say, well, I don't plan on being in the hospital unconscious, which no one plans on that being the case. But I've spoken to other people who believe that they're victims, and they were never in a hospital. They basically, were completely fine, active members of society, and out of the blue, this started for them, and it followed the patterns for this type of harassment where they believed and they are pretty sure that this is not a mental breakdown. People make light of people when they sit there and they joke and say, oh, I'm under mind control or whatever it is, because it seems so far-fetched. And you know what, a lot of times that's what we've been made to believe. Those people probably are mentally ill, you know. But at the same token, this is happening to real people who had no previous mental problems, illnesses, or anything of the sort. This is happening. Um, there's technology all over the place. There are cell towers, radio towers all over the place. EMF is a real thing that can happen as far as the harassment. It's documented. If you're not sure, check out some websites: Freedom from Harassment, mindjustice.com. Check out a couple of different websites. There's a whole leap of them. Just type in or Googling remote neural monitoring, or Googling, um, mind reading. You can Google in EMF harassment, direct energy weapons. Googling any of those things, and you'll find at least you could put in patents, for direct energy weapons or for mind control, and you'll find at least 7 or 8 different patents, that more than that, since the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and upward. So this technology has been worked on for decades. So you should be concerned, even if it's not happening to you, and don't turn a blind eye to it. So again, any help, any assistance, any advice, I'm seeking it, I'm taking it, I need it. Any prayers, I'll take them too, because this is serious. I'm trying to basically keep my composure, and thus far, by the grace of God, I have. So that's it for right now. I'm gonna post up some more stuff and just keep you guys aware of what's going on. All right. So have a great day. Bye.